Meanwhile, I'll just start the YouTube streaming. In case anyone has any network issues, you can just switch to YouTube. Okay, cool. So the YouTube thing is in the chats. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Yeah. YouTube link is in the chat. Please just tell your people around you, your team members, to please just join the meeting. Okay, cool. We'll give it about another 5 minutes. Okay, cool. We'll just give it 4 more minutes. While we're waiting, how's everyone doing? Just post in the chats. How are you doing? How was planning week of the Code Clinics project? Solids, okay. You think say solids? Okay, a lot of thumbs up. So I'm guessing it's going good. It's going good. Are you guys excited? Super excited to get to work. That's good. We're just doing not good, no bad. Suddenly so tricky. We are good, thank you. All right, that's good to hear. Good level. How's everyone else doing? I see thumbs up. Okay. It's like everything is going well for planning week. Okay, cool. That's great. That's good. I think we'll just give it 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes, and then we will be able to start our session. Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome for those who just joined. Welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to iteration one of Code Clinics. So it's gonna be less of a kickoff, but we're gonna go more of like a technical session, right? Try to answer some of the questions that you may have, and also just walk you through something that we feel like will help you guys move forward in terms of the project. But before we even get there, um, let's just recap on what needed to happen or what had happened last week, right? So from last week, we had iteration 0, which was our planning week, right? And some of the things that needed to go towards our planning week is one, we needed to establish that we need stand-ups every day, right? So as a group, we had to come together and actually sit and agree on a specific time every day to meet early in the morning so that we can go through some of the tasks that we need to do for the day, right? So we can also keep ourselves accountable and keep others accountable within the team, right? So those stand-ups that we have now agreed on should be reflecting on your calendars. So if it's not on your calendar yet, make sure that it's on your calendar so somebody within the team can just create a calendar invite and invite the rest of the team, even though you're having the stand-ups in person, as long as it's reflecting on your calendar that at that specific time of the day you are currently having stand, right? Can we get a thumbs up with the stand-ups? Are we good? Did we create our stand-ups? Are they on our calendars? That's great. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up. Great, great, great. If not, I think after this session, make sure that you get that done, right? Um, in addition to that, we got introduced to retros, right? So as much as we having stand-ups, we need to have retros as well. So retros are more on reflecting on how the week went with the tasks that we said we want to do, what worked, what didn't work, and then we'll have a good planning as to taking what worked and what didn't work, what can we do to make that work, right? And then we take it into the next week. So that's what retros are. And usually they happen towards the end of the week. So you find yourselves having retros on a Friday, right? That also needs to happen. That also needs to be on your calendars as well. So make sure that if it's not on your calendars as yet, make sure it's on your calendars and that it is everyone else is just invited into that session so that you guys can sit and reflect and have a plan going into the next week, right? So thumbs up regarding retros. So we're just having a checklist, right, of things that are needed to happen. So thumbs up on the retros. I'm seeing a few thumbs up. I'm seeing a few thumbs up. Okay. So make sure that you guys who haven't really um, created retros or done your retros so far, that needs to happen. Okay. And then with everything that I've mentioned, your stand-ups and your retros, everything needs to be documented as well, right? As well as your planning. So to do that, we had suggested, not even suggested, that you guys need to use the Miro board, right? And we had shared the links that you guys can utilize for Miro board, right? So you guys had to create a Miro board where you guys would sit and you'd actually look at the overview of the whole project and you do your planning as a team, right, on your Miro board, as well as you're having your stand-ups, as you're having your retros, some of those things need to be documented so that you can always go back and reflect, right? And also have paper trail. So you can also use your Miro board for your retros and for your stand-ups as well, right? And then make sure that everyone is able to access that link and make sure that when you're having your stand-ups and your retros, that your Miro board is always open, you know what I mean? So that even when your plan shifts, that those updates are done in real time, right? So can I just get a thumbs up regarding the Miro boards that you guys had to do? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Yes, 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 yes. I see them, I see them, I see them. Great, 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 great. Okay, so we're off to a great start, right? Okay, so with the planning that you guys needed to do, you guys were given a few requirements, right? That were just an overview, right? Which we'll go through those requirements in a sec because there's something that we'd like to actually expand on, right? Another thing that you guys needed to do was one person within your team needed to go and fork the repo, right? And from forking the repo, they then needed to invite everyone else within the team as developers to that specific repo, right? Cool. And then you just needed to name the repo in a suitable name, right? Can I get a thumbs up that that has been done? Cool. Do we all have a repo? I'll take the questions now, guys. Yes. Repos, yes. So if you guys don't have a repo, yes, I suggest you guys do that because officially today is one of those days where you actually need to start working on the actual coding part of this project, right? So in iteration one, within the project that you're going to be doing, you guys will need to take some of the planning that you have done and some of the tasks and requirements that you have for yourselves. And then you need to break it down into smaller tasks, right? So that you can have something like an issue board where you write down all of the tasks that you need to do, what is currently in progress, what is currently being testing, what is currently done, right? So that task or that board is where most of your stand-up conversations are gonna come from, right? As to this is the ticket that we are giving to you. You said you are gonna do this. How far is it? Because we see it's been sitting on progress. Is it now in testing? Is it done? And so on and so on, right? And that board needs to be updated in real time, if I can put it like that. So every day when you come, you need to have that board open so that you guys can expand on the tasks that you need to do. And then as you work on the project, if you're done with something and you need to move that ticket into in progress, into in testing and assign yourself to another ticket and so on and so on, right? So you guys need to have an issue board with those tasks. But it was walked through last week. I think they walk you through on how that is worked. So thumbs up on the report and the boards. Cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Cool. So some of the requirements that were given to you guys was that one, you guys, in terms of the whole project, need to be able to configure the system, right? So connecting, and I saw somebody actually had a question on this, and that this is something that we actually wanted to kind of expand on, which will come back to. So you need to be able to configure the system, need to be able to view calendars within the 7 days. And then you need to be able to, a student needs to be able to make a booking, volunteer for a slot, cancel the booking, cancel volunteering. And then there's a bonus section, right? So with the bonus, and it's clearly stated that do not attempt the bonus unless everything before that, that is the requirement, is done. You get what I mean? Do not just jump to the bonus. If you jump to the bonus, it will be kind of like useless-ish because everything else that it is a requirement would not be done. And that is what we are actually aiming for. So for the bonus, it's more of, okay, you've done your work. You guys now are on top of it, you've done and you feel confident in everything that you've done and you've covered every requirement, then you can then attempt the bonus, right? Do not just jump to the bonus. It won't count for anything if everything else before that is not created. Cool. Cool. So we did say that we'll treat this as a technical session a bit. So just to answer some of the questions that you guys may have and also expand, right, on something that we want to expand on. So what I'm going to do now before we take the questions is that I am going to hand it over to Sanele, who will expand more on the configuring the system part regarding the calendars and students being able to view the Code Clinic systems calendar. Cool. Sanele? Are you on the call? And I just make you a
Yes, I'm on.
co-host. Let me just make you a co-host. Whenever you're ready, I think you can share your screen.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
I can hear you, Sanele.
Okay. So most of this code which you find in your quick start, I think you went through the Google quick start manual, how to actually create the token, refresh the token, and whatnot, right? So in your Code Clinics project, you will need to create a calendar, right? So if you can see here, we build a service using our credentials, right? So you need to build your credentials and then give your calendar details using a dictionary, and then just call this the service and then insert your calendar into the calendars, right? And then once you do this, you kind of create a separate calendar for your team, right? Let me run this. So by you creating your calendar, you'll kind of have a calendar ID. I think from my side, we'll need to refresh the tokens first. Okay, so by me creating that calendar, I have this as my calendar ID. So you'll find out that during your development, you will have to use your calendar ID multiple of times. So this will come in handy. Once you create your calendar, just take this and store it somewhere, right? You can take this and store it somewhere. So are you still seeing my screen, right? You should be seeing my web browser right now. So I can take the calendar ID and actually subscribe to the calendar. If I say subscribe to the calendar and paste the calendar ID here, that calendar will actually appear, and then I can actually see events on that calendar, right? Let's say now we created some sessions on our calendar. They will have to appear on here if we use this calendar ID, right? So that's kind of the first step you need to do in order for you to have a separate calendar from the cohort and in order for you to use the credentials which have been given to you. Okay, is everyone clear with that? Can I have thumbs up? Only Menzies is throwing a thumbs up. Then okay. Yeah, and then the rest, guys, you'll have to figure it out. You'll have to solve problems for the rest.
Thank you, Sanele. Do you guys have any questions? Am I the only one encountering an error when using the credentials? What error are you encountering?
Okay.
Yeah, can you just expand on the error that you're encountering? Are we using a separate service account or a separate calendar on the Within Code service account?
A separate calendar. You are all gonna use the same credentials, but then you'll have separate calendars. So you'll give your calendars names. Maybe for example, you'll name your calendar after your team name, maybe JHP1, Code Clinics, and so on and so on.
Okay. It says value error. Authorized user info was not in the expected format using fields, client secret, client ID, refresh token.
Okay, on your side, right? Are you sure that you are accessing the credentials.json, which are stored in the secrets? And then if that's the case, it should pop up, it should give you a pop-up screen to authenticate on your browser. No, they need your calendar ID to have access to your team's calendar. Yes, you're all going to use the same credentials. It will interact with your accounts, right? You are going to use the same credentials. The credentials have been configured for you guys so that it can interact with all of your accounts. The only difference is that each group will have its own calendar. Okay, to get the calendar ID, let me share one more time. Okay, so to get your calendar ID, so this part of the code is, you'll find it in the quick start. It's the one which is responsible for refreshing the token, creating a token, using the credentials to actually create a token for you, right? And then here we just build a service so that we can interact with our API, with our Google API, right? And then on this part, we just give our calendar details, right? So there's this summary. So the summary is actually the name of your calendar, and then your time zone, right? You have to use the South African time zone instead of the New York time zone. And then here you're actually creating your calendar. And then by you creating your calendar, you want to get your calendar ID. And then you can store your calendar ID in a JSON or some way. On this demo, I just printed the calendar ID on the terminal. And then that's how you actually get your calendar ID. And then if I can go to this side, as you can see, the summary and the calendar name is the same within Code Clinics calendar. Let me go and check the other questions. Okay. So if you created your own, it's still fine. They are both gonna work the same way if you created your own credentials. But then we gave you the credentials because if you try to create your own credentials using the organizational email, which you have your student email, you are not allowed to do that. Some of you have noticed that probably. So that's why we actually gave you the credentials. So the calendar which you will create using for the question, will each user have their own Code Clinics calendar, or will there be a main calendar for the Code Clinics? So each and every user on Google, right? On Google has their own specific calendar, right? But then you'll kind of interact with one calendar, which is the Code Clinics calendar. So there'll be kind of two calendars per user, your own calendar and the Code Clinics calendar, right? So let's say I create an event, that event will be displayed on my calendar and also on the Code Clinics calendar, And then let's say I have extra events which are not on the Code Clinics calendar, my personal events, right? If I pull my events, I'll see my own events and also the Code Clinics events. But then let's say Google now wants to check what's on the Code Clinics calendar and she pulls. It'll display her events and the Code Clinic events. It won't display my personal events. So that's how it interacts basically. So when you go through the curriculum, right? You are gonna find a link to the Quick Start Google API. The starter code is there on the Quick Start Google API. So you'll have to kind of read that from the documentation and understand how to use that.
Thank you so much, Sanele. If there's any more questions, I'll just pop them through to you. But in conclusion, guys, please read the curriculum. Please make sure that you read every part of the spec of this project. And then within that, also make sure that everyone within the team has the same understanding as to what needs to happen within the project, right? So make sure that before you guys move on, that you guys all understand what needs to happen for this project, right? So that you guys can move forward as a team, right? Sihle, please, I think the curriculum can actually answer that for you, right? But also, I just wanted to let you guys know that we will be on the field, meaning that we will be doing rounds just to check on some of the work that you guys have been done. So we'll randomly come to any group, and you guys should always be ready, right? With planning, with everything, right? So just be asking you guys questions, trying to see your mindset around the whole project, right? And we're just hoping that everyone in the team will be comfortable enough to do that. Hence, that's why I'm just emphasizing that everyone be on the same page, right, regarding this project. Cool. If you guys don't have any other questions, the YouTube link, I'll just post it here again, and I'll try my best to post it on Telegram, not Telegram, Element. I'll post it on Element. You can just revisit this video if you need any more other clarifications regarding the credentials part of the projects. Litabo, the same that I said to Usihle, I think the curriculum will be able to help answer that question. Right? Read, guys, please read. Please read. Right? Any other questions?
Okay, cool. Cool. Good morning, everyone. All right. So here's how you guys should be thinking, right? This is how I want you to view this. You being at the end of the program, what we want is for you to be skilled software engineers, right? I'm just going to repeat that. Skilled software engineers, right? So now there's a difference between being a software developer and actually being a software engineer, right? So for someone who's a software developer, is someone who maybe we have Gauza, and then we have Gauza, and then we have Undumiso that right there. So Undumiso would probably be the lead, and then Gauza would be the developer. Gauza will be given instructions like, hey, Gauza, go do this. I don't know if it's Gauza or Hausa, but I'm seeing a thing there. So I'm just gonna go with what I'm seeing. Um, Hausa sounds better. Okay. So Ndumiso will tell Hausa that, yo, go do this. Hausa will just go finish that ticket. Hausa will come back and will be like, I'm done with my ticket. What should I do next? Ndumiso will give the instruction again. Hausa will go back and do whatever. Right? So that's not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is for someone who can actually go out, do research, find out what the user needs, find a solution, read between the lines, figure out things, and then come back with a solution like, hey, this is how this thing should be looking like from top to bottom. This is how the user journey should be working from start to finish. This is exactly how we test this. This is how you're literally looking at the overall thing. And as an engineer, you're someone who's always looking at the business logic of everything, right? So I do not want you guys thinking the way you're thinking. I'm seeing some of the questions in the chats. Hey, send us this data code, send us this. It means that you are struggling to do research. You are struggling to read, which is the most basic of basic things. It means that you haven't went through the curriculum. It means that you haven't even went through some of the links that are shared in the curriculum, which is a complete red flag. If that's how you're starting, that's exactly how you'll end, and it's not going to look good. So start now. Go through the curriculum, read. If you don't understand, you have AI to help you. And then further, there's documentation. Documentation even gives you a clearer picture. It's just that sometimes it becomes very lazy to read documentation because it doesn't really look friendly to the eye. But then I assure you, if you give it time, you actually get to a place where you'll see that documentation is actually quite, what's the word? Uh, it gives you more. It gives you more, right? And you get to understand. And sometimes you might not be the person who actually has that ability to read. Like Google reads books every day. I'm too lazy to be doing that, right? So it means that I'm a practical person. So instead of actually doing this whole reading nonsense, I will just be like, hey, I'm seeing code here. Let me just read the code. Let me run it. What does it do? Oh, it's breaking. Oh, it's working. Okay, why is it working? And then I'm deciphering exactly why it's working, right? So that's the practical side of me. Experiment, be curious, right? Break stuff, break your GitLab. It really doesn't matter, right? But then if you're going to take this approach and not be curious and inquisitive and all of that, then it's not going to work out. So please fix it as quickly as possible. You'll be just fine. Some of the questions that we see there in the chats are things that are already in the curriculum. So we are not going to answer things that are already spoon-fed to you. Right. Like break things. Yeah, like just break things. Like no one cares, right? No one get like break it. If you break it and you can't fix it again, we'll fix it for you, and then go back and break it again. Break it. I dare you. I dare you. Double dare. All right. And then another thing, if there's nothing else, I just want to find out. Oh, you want to add something? I wanted to ask a question, but yeah. Okay. I'll ask the question after.
Yeah, for the question, I just wanted to remind everyone about the demos. So make sure that you guys do your reviews for each other. It was shared to you. They are due today, COP. Please do those reviews. Thank you. That's what I wanted to say. You can ask your question.
All right, cool. So my question is more on exactly what we just said right now. There's already a number of reviews that I see have come through. So I just want to find out from your encounter so far, how have you guys been finding the reviews? Have they been fruitful? Maybe they don't make sense. Do you feel like it's a waste of time? What exactly are you seeing in those reviews? how's your experience so far? You can unmute or you can drop it in the chats. Uchiha is saying teams don't want to be reviewed. Vakela is saying haven't done any yet. Ndumito asked the question actually, should each member do one commit per day? All right. I'll come back to that. Let's just talk on the reviews. I'll come back to that. Thomas is saying we've done half out of 2. Okay, cool. Debbie is saying people are absent. Sanela is saying, should we be harsh on reviews? That's a good question. Let's see. More feedback. Luciso is saying, should everyone in the review, should everyone in the review group send a review? Just on that, Lucy, so just one member just needs to submit the review, right? So the assumption is that as you do the review, all the team members are present and you are reviewing together as a team. And once you're done, then as a team, you can actually sit down and fill out the form together and submit that just once. This person doesn't have a name, but there's an emoji there. I can't even see what the emoji is, but it's fine. It's a what? It's a turtle. Is that a turtle? Hey, okay. Turtle is for the review, should one member complete? Oh, okay, so it's the same question. Denga is saying they have very good, we get to see how people tackle problems in a unique way. I've learned a lot. That's exactly what we need, Denga. Tata saying we are reviewing immediately after this meeting. Sweet. Gudulego is saying very fruitful. They let us know if we are going in the right direction or not. Darren is saying, how many reviews must we do? You have to do 2. Tamsanga is saying emphasis on holding hands during reviews. Betty saying I accidentally submitted a review while going through the requirements. Should another team member send through? Yeah, you can let another team member do that, Betty. Okay, cool. So let me go back and speak on what Sanele asked. Should we be harsh on reviews, right? People are laughing, and it's actually a valid question. It's an absolutely valid question. So here's what I've noticed from the past week. You have Google. Google does things a certain way. And then we have Vagele. Vagele does things a certain way. So sometimes what usually happens is that Vagele will come to Google and Vagele will be like, that's not how this thing should be done. That's not how it should be done. And then Google's like, oh no, this is how I see it. Vagele will be like, no, this is not how it should be done. And then Vagele will be like, this is exactly how it should be done, right? And then Vagele will be like, because you didn't do it the way I want, then 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, right? When the conversation should be, especially in a review, the review is meant to be a learning thing between the two parties, right? Sometimes reviews can even have like 5 people or 10 people in one call, just doing a review for 20 lines of code. Sometimes it happens like that. And the whole idea is to convince the next person of what you did and why it works and how it's actually efficient, right? And if maybe I'm seeing something wrong, I would suggest possible or alternative ways to approach. But then I shouldn't impose myself to the next person, right? Now, if it just so happens that I'm like, oh, damn, Gugu took such a great approach to this. Gugu, I know I'm reviewing you. Can you give me more pointers as to why you took this approach? What was your thinking? I see. Oh, that's dope. Okay, cool. Can I have a one-on-one session with you maybe next week or tomorrow so that you can walk me through that as I go through my code? Let it be like a learning thing. It's not what do you call this? The English runs away sometimes, especially on Mondays. It's not an exercise where you go into a review to fill out a form because it's a formality and then you go back to regular settings. It means that you are doing a disservice to the next person and you're also doing a disservice to yourself because you are not trying to learn from the next person, and you yourself, you probably are not even trying to teach the next person, which are literally the two most important skills in this field, right? It's all about learning. It's all about learning. How they classify a senior is classified by the years of experience and the ability to teach. Same thing as an intermediate, years of experience and the ability to teach, right? Teaching is such an important thing in tech. So if you are doing a disservice to yourself, you're not even practicing on how to learn from other people, you're not practicing how to teach other people, then you are not refining your own skills, right? So please just go into these reviews with an open mind to teaching or to learning. But also as you teach, don't be someone who imposes themselves, right? You might have the best idea. You might think that your approach is the best one, but do ever, ever, ever at any point impose yourself, right? You might be further ahead for other people. They will get to that. Just be patient. And those are my 2 cents. Thank you, Google, for giving me my 2 seconds of what. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the wise words. I think the word that Busang likes to say is that I think Darren nailed it. It is a discussion, literally. It's a discussion that you guys need to have, right? And once you get it right, you'll see. It'll open your mind to a whole lot of other things. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming. For Cape Town, Spain, then we'll do the rounds. For Joburg, we will do the rounds. And please submit your reviews, guys. Please submit your reviews. Thank you so much for coming. Good luck for this week. Read the curriculum. Thank you, and goodbye.